Hello, welcome to Verbling. My name is Joe, and today we're going to learn how to cook enchiladas. So, if you guys are watching this right now, it is live, and the first few minutes are reserved for the Verbling Premium users. And for the first 2 minutes, okay, let's see. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Idris, are you there? It's reserved for the premium users. Idris, are you there? Idris?
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Hello, how are you today?
Hello. Hello. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Indonesia.
Indonesia. Okay. All right. Oh, looks like we have somebody else.
Have you ever
Have I what? Have I ever been there? No, I have not. But I would like to. One day.
Oh. Yeah, maybe you know about Bali.
Maybe I know what?
Maybe you know about Bali, the place for skiing in Indonesia.
Bali, like Bollywood? Is that? Sorry, I just your microphone is
Island.
cutting. Your microphone is cutting in and out. Diego, are you there? Can you guys hear me? Luis?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay,
Nice to
perfect. Nice to meet you too. Okay. Awesome. So I think some people will be joining, and then we'll get started shortly. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So, looks like the class is full, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Verbling. My name's Joe. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, which is in the southwest part of the United States, near California, and right above Mexico. Can everybody hear me okay? Is my microphone working properly?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. Just double checking. Okay. So today we're going to be learning how to make enchiladas. So this is the first time for me, and I'm assuming it's the first time for most of you guys. So basically what we're going to be doing is learning some vocabulary related to food, the ingredients that I'll be using, some vocabulary related to cooking, verbs, some nouns. Basically, that's what we'll be learning today. And what I want you guys to do is just ask questions and basically learn how to make enchiladas. And so you guys will be practicing listening the entire time. So hopefully that'll help, and hopefully I don't speak too fast so that you guys can understand how to make these enchiladas, because the recipe is pretty easy. There aren't too many ingredients. And it takes about an hour to cook. So it should take the entire class period to cook. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started.
Are
I'm
you
going
in
to
the
place
kitchen?
you guys right. Yes, I am in the kitchen. So, as you guys can see, here's my kitchen. So I'm going to click on my camera so that it stays there so you guys can see. Okay.
Are you wearing a Chinese outfit?
I am, and you're probably wondering why, since this is enchiladas, which are from South America, or Latino. And the reason that I'm wearing this and this lovely hat, as you guys can see, is because I like to be spontaneous. I like to mix it up a little bit. Even though this has nothing to do with what I'm cooking today, it's fun. It's cool. It's got cool sleeves. It's got cool buttons, and it's interesting. So this is my outfit that I will be cooking in today, in my other class today, and for the rest of the week. So hopefully you guys like this, like the hat. It kind of reminds me of the hat that I bought in Panama, which is in Central America, if you didn't know that. But yeah, that's my outfit. Thanks. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to be cooking enchiladas. Now the first thing we need to do is preheat the oven. So if you guys don't know what the oven is, here we have the oven. So this is the oven. And it spells O-V-E-N. So we'll hit bake, start, and it'll preheat, which is when you set the temperature. I don't know if you guys can see right here, it says PRE, which stands for preheating. So we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and that will get it nice and warm so that we can cook the enchiladas. So while that's preheating, we will get the ingredients ready. So the first thing we need to do is take the pan that we're going to be cooking these enchiladas in. So here's my glass pan. So this is just called a pan, P-A-N, glass pan, because it's made out of glass. So we're going to cook our enchiladas in this today. Now, to make sure that they don't stick, I need to spray some non-stick spray, cooking spray. So this is called PAM. Now, in the United States, we usually call things by the brand name. So you can see the brand name is PAM. Now it's not, PAM doesn't mean anything besides the brand. It's actually non-stick cooking spray. So we're going to use that so the enchiladas don't stick. So we're going to spray that down. That way our enchiladas do not stick. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is cook the beef. So I'm going to turn you guys so you guys can see. So we have the oven down here, and we have the stove up here. So I'm going to move this over here. And the first thing we're going to do is cook our beef in what's called a skillet. So this is a skillet. It's kind of like a pan, but you can cook beef in it, or you can stir fry things in it. So I'm going to grab our beef, which is right here. I bought this today. Lean ground beef. So here's the brand Kroger. And it's 2 pounds. So we're gonna open this up and cook this up. So I'm gonna heat the stove up to about 8 probably, and we're gonna open this up and then start to cook the meat. Alright, there we go. And if you guys have any questions about vocabulary, if you'd like me to repeat anything, just let me know. Shout it out. Okay, so we're putting this meat in here, this ground beef, and we're going to cook this up. So you can see, here we go, it's not been cooked. So we're going to cook this up. Has anybody ever had enchiladas before?
No.
What was that?
What?
The question was, has anybody ever eaten enchiladas before?
Is it Mexico food?
It's
I don't know what is
It's-
enchiladas.
enchiladas. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a picture. I'll actually show you guys the recipe that I'm using, just in case after this you'd like to cook enchiladas yourself, because they're really good. I don't know if it's from Mexico, but it is what in the United States we'd call it Mexican food. We'd say, oh, let's go get enchiladas at a Mexican restaurant. So we would call it Mexican food. I don't know if it's actually from Mexico, but if you give me 1 sec, I will show you what these are going to look like. Okay. So here, I'm going to post the recipe that I'm using so you guys can see. Here we go. So that's the recipe that I'm using. I just Googled how to make enchiladas. And so if you want to follow along, that's the recipe. Yes, Jane, skillet. That's what we're
Could
going
you
to be
give us
cooking.
another link because I couldn't uh, open it.
Well, can you repeat that, please?
I couldn't open the link.
That
Could
you
you give us
couldn't open. Yes. Let's try it one more time. It shows some pictures of what it looks like. There we go. It's by Recipe Girl. Okay. Did the link work? So let's see.
Yes.
It
Looks
works? Okay.
good.
Good. Yes, it is very good. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to grab a spatula and we're going to cut up this meat. Just kind of, break it apart. I'm not sure exactly. I think it should take like 5-10 minutes to cook this meat. But this is the first thing you want to do. Cook the meat, break it up, because these are going to be beef enchiladas. So this meat is beef, it's lean beef. You can also make
What do you
cheese.
mean by break it up?
What do I mean by what?
Break it up.
Break it up. Okay, how about I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you guys can see this better. Okay, let's see. Alright, we're going to put you right next to the stove. Okay, can you guys see a little bit better? Let me get the cord out from under. Okay, there we go. So, now you're right here, right on my stove. So, when I say break it up, I just mean it was like in a big blob, and what you want to do is look how I'm like stabbing it and breaking it apart. So breaking it apart is like if you have the meat like this, and I'm stabbing it like that, then it's separating it and breaking it apart. So for example, like this. That's breaking it apart. So you can kind of see it. Let's see if I can scoot it a little closer. So this is just, that's exactly what I'm doing, breaking it up. Just like that. So we're just breaking up the meat, because we don't want it to be one big blob, because it's going to go in about 10 enchiladas, I think, depending on how many enchiladas my pan will hold, the glass pan that we use. So we're just going to break this up. So yeah, breaking up, that's just the phrasal verb breaking up. And it spells B-R-E-K and then space U-P. Breaking up. So basically, you're probably wondering, when do I know that the meat's done? So you can see it's kind of turning brown. Right there. Okay, so see how some of it's still red? So that means I still have to keep cooking it. So you just kind of want to let this, move it around, let it sit a little bit, move it around, and that way you can make sure that all of the meat's cooked. Because if it isn't cooked, then you could eat some bacteria that could make you sick, which could be really bad. Like salmonella is one of them. I think that's from eating raw eggs. Salmonella. I'm not 100% sure how to spell that, but you've probably heard about it before. So you just want to make sure all of this is broken up and cooked. So if you've ever eaten tacos before, beef tacos, it's the same thing. It's just this kind of beef that they cook, and then they mix it up. Okay, so our oven is still preheating. Remember I set it to 350, and after we cook this meat, we're going to cook the vegetables. Now you can use whatever kind of vegetables you want. Today I grabbed a zucchini and onions. Now you're probably wondering what zucchini is. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that beep. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear the beep? Yeah. Okay. So that means that the oven is preheated, which is good, because that means it's ready. So now all we gotta do is finish prepping the enchiladas. So this is almost all the way cooked. As you can kind of see, You don't see a lot of red. There's a little bit, but notice how it's like little crumbs. See, like this piece right here, this big one, that I need to break up. But the rest of this is all kind of broken up. It's in little crumbs, you could call them. So crumbs, think of, if you don't know what the word crumbs is, it's spelled like this, C-U, or C-R-U-M-B-S, crumbs. So think of breadcrumbs, that's used a lot. Breadcrumbs, that's like when you're eating a sandwich and little bits and pieces of the bread fall down. Those are crumbs. So we kind of want these to look like crumbs because you want them to be broken up a lot because you're not putting big blobs in the enchiladas. You're breaking it up and you're putting a little bit in each enchilada. Okay. Whew. Does anybody have any questions so far? Is everybody feeling good today?
Yes.
Good, good, good. I wish you guys were here to eat these with me. I'm gonna make enough for everybody.
You will eat alone.
What was that?
You will eat all that alone.
No way, I cannot eat all of this. That would be a lot of enchiladas. You'll see, they're pretty good size. Maybe 2 to a person. I think that's what the recipe says. I mean, honestly, it depends. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys one more time. This beef is pretty much all cooked. So you can see how it went from red to this kind of brown color. So I don't know if you guys can see, you probably can't. There's a little bit of liquid, which is the fat. So we want to get that out because that's not good to eat. So I'm going to grab a spoon and a cup or a bowl, and we're going to scoop some of that out. Because we don't want that in there. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit since it's all the way cooked. And take this, which this isn't a bowl. I don't know what you would call this, honestly. Any ideas? What would you guys call this? Maybe like a butter holder? I don't know. It's not a bowl though. And here I've got my spoon, so I'm going to try and get some of this juice out that we don't want. It's fat. Okay, so you want to get that out because you don't want that in your enchiladas because it's gross. Not good for you. So,
What is gelatin?
what is what?
Gelatin. What did you say? What did you just say?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
I'm not sure about it. You said something like gelatin. Or...
Yeah, you want to get it out, like scoop it out. Is that what you meant?
I don't know. I heard something. Yeah.
Okay, well if you remember, then I can help explain it. But so this is the stuff that I got out.
Yeah.
So our meat is good. Now what you want to do is take the meat out, put it in a bowl, which is why I have this red. So this is a bowl, red bowl. So we're gonna put the meat in here. Okay. And then we're going to cook the vegetables. So you're just going to keep all this meat in here, and then we're going to mix it with the vegetables, and then after that, this is the mix, or the filling of the enchilada. So I'm just going to make sure it's...
exactly. You said it right now. Enchilada. What is that?
Shh. Wait, can you... Sorry, I was not paying attention. What was it exactly? Can you, write it?
Enchilada. No, I can't. I heard it, but you said...
Dang it. Okay, well, maybe I'll probably say it again. Mix it up. Filling? Was it filling?
No, enchilada or something like that.
Shallot. I don't know. Okay. Maybe we'll figure it out by the end of the class. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I've got all this mixed up in this bowl. So we're going to set this over here and kind of let it hang out. The next thing we need to do, so I'm going to keep the skillet hot so that way when we put the vegetables in, they'll cook faster. The next thing we need to do is cut up the vegetables. So
this recipe is from which country?
this recipe is from It might be from the United States. I got it off. I mean, like it's actually enchiladas are from. I want to say Mexico.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds like
100%.
Mexico to me as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's from somewhere in Latin America. I don't know like where the first enchiladas came from, but this recipe is probably something that an American made or took from somebody else and changed it. So I just got the recipe off the internet. Okay, so
What's her name? What is his name?
recipe? What is this called?
Yeah,
These are enchiladas. Enchiladas.
enchilada.
Enchiladas. Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Okay, so I've got my really cool surfing board, which is also a cutting board in the shape of a surfing board. My dad got this in Hawaii, which is an island off the southwest coast of the United States. So this is what we're going to be cutting on today. Now the vegetables that we're going to be using today are, let's see, zucchini and onion. So not very many. I mean, it obviously depends on what you like. I'm going to wash these off so that way we get off the preservatives or pesticides. So if you don't know what a zucchini is, this is it. It's a type of squash. Now, usually people cook it. I don't know, I've never eaten it not cooked. But it's spelled like this, zucchini. Wait, let me double check that because I don't want to. Zucchini. Okay. Zucchini. Okay, there we go. So this is zucchini. So this is the first thing we're going to cut up. So I'm going to grab my cutting knife, which is right here. Just a knife. N-I-F-E. So we've got cutting board, knife, zucchini. This is probably the new one. Most of you probably know what a knife is and a cutting board. But zucchini, I don't know how to say that, and I speak Spanish. I don't know how to say it in Spanish or Portuguese. But,
No, zucchini is very green. In Turkey, they are very light nowadays.
oh, really? Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is what it looks like on the inside. I don't know if you can... I think my camera's...
I mean, on the outside, it's very
Oh, on the
green.
outside.
It's like,
Ah, okay. And it's normally not that green in Turkey?
yeah, it's very light nowadays. I don't know.
Huh. And you're sure it's zucchini, the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Well, I don't know. I've usually, I guess here, maybe it's the way that they grow it here or something. Okay. So we've got a lot of zucchini. So I'm going to cut this up. This is what you might call dicing. So to dice, kind of like that, is a verb that we use in cooking, or prepping, I guess, more so. And it's where you're cutting it up into little pieces. So just like this, because this is going to go in our enchiladas, and if they're really big pieces like this, then they won't fit very well. So I'm just cutting this all up, and they're kind of falling everywhere, which is okay. But you just want to cut them up into little pieces like this. I don't know if you guys... Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So we're just cutting this up, and then we're going to fry them. Okay. So that's probably good. Hopefully they don't fall. Okay, so I'm going to put these into the skillet. Just like that. You can hear it frying.
Can I see it?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna turn the camera around in a second. I gotta turn this down a little bit. I'm gonna finish cutting these up, and then we're gonna cut up some onions. Does everybody here like onions? I know some people don't like onions. Do you guys like onions?
Yeah, I do like onions. Especially,
Yes.
I like even its smell.
Oh, I love the smell of onions.
Yeah. When you
Especially
fry
when
it,
Yeah. Oh, when
Yeah.
you fry them, they're so good. They have so much flavor too. They're delicious. Okay, so I just cut up the rest of this zucchini. I'm gonna slide it into the skillet, just like that. Alright, and we're gonna cut up some onion. Now I like onion, so we're gonna add kind of a lot of onion, because we're not using very many vegetables, and you want these to taste pretty good. So this is a yellow onion, I think. Yes. So I don't know why it's very bright, but maybe you can kind of see it. So here's my onion. So we're gonna cut this. We're gonna dice this up too. So same thing, dice to dice up vegetables. So you don't really. You can dice up chicken. You can dice up tomatoes. Dice up zucchini. And also, I don't know if all of you guys here have cooked, but for some reason, when you cut up onions, they give off a smell or an odor that makes you cry.
Yes.
I don't know. Does anybody know why?
But there is a secret
What's the secret?
for you not to cry. Yeah, they say that if you put the onions in water and you put salt, you have to leave it for 15 minutes in water with salt, and then after that you can start cutting the onions, and it
For
will not
15
make you cry. Yeah, for 15 minutes in
Really?
water with salt. Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. Okay, well, don't worry. I'm an
to
experienced cook, so I am not crying. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Oh, you're cutting now the onion?
Yeah, I just cut the onion, so you can see.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna slide. I'm not crying. Very surprising.
I'm crying.
Good.
You're crying? Are you guys crying? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Okay, so we've got our vegetables cut up. We diced them up, and now we're going to fry them. So when I say fry, that's just a verb that's used when you're just kind of heating them up in a skillet or a frying pan and getting them kind of soft and warm. So here we go. There we go. Okay. So you can kind of see, there they all are. So I'm just gonna heat these up until they're kind of soft. So maybe about 5 minutes frying them, because you want them to taste good, but you don't want to burn them. So it was kind of high when I was cooking the beef. Here, I'm gonna show you. So on these, you have these dials. They have low all the way to high. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I was cooking the meat, I was on high. I was about 8, 9. But when you're cooking these vegetables, you don't want them to cook too fast. They can't cook very fast, so you need to put it low to maybe about 3, 4, because otherwise you'll burn them. So maybe about 5 minutes on 3 or 4, and they should be good.
You have
Now-
oil there?
What was that?
Oil? You have oil?
Oh, what?
Oil.
Oil. No, I forgot the oil. Good thing you're here to remind
Oh
me.
my god.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna burn the house down. Okay, here we go. Yes, vegetable oil. Very key, an important ingredient, because otherwise they will burn and they will stick. Especially with potatoes. If you guys have ever cooked potatoes, the potato skin sticks to the bottom of the pan unless you have a lot of oil. So I just have this oil in here. It'll add some flavor, and it'll also prevent them from burning and from them sticking to the bottom. So I added a little bit of oil. So these are cooking pretty fast, and that's probably because the pan was already hot. And it didn't cool down all the way, but that's okay. So we've got a good amount of vegetables here, as you can see. You can see the smoke coming off. It's frying pretty quickly, and also because of the oil. But we're going to let those cook for a little bit, and I'm going to check the recipe for the next step. Okay, so the next step is to remove the vegetables, and we're going to add them to the meat. So another thing that this is called, so I said right now that I'm frying the vegetables. Another thing another way that you could call it is sautéing vegetables. Sauté. So that's the verb to sauté.
Yeah.
But yes, so sauté. So if that's a new word for you, repeat it after me. Sauté.
Saute.
Saute. Wow.
Saute.
There you go. Yes. And I don't know where the word comes from, because it doesn't sound like it's like it used to, like Old English. But it's probably a borrowed word from another language.
Yeah, it's Turkish.
It's Turkish, really.
Yeah. We say
Wow.
saute.
Really, I
That's
didn't.
Saute.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so it's Turkish. Saute. So saute is just when you fry the vegetables, maybe add a little bit of spice, a few spices, or maybe some oil, which is what we did. We added oil. So you can see they're kind of brown. That's how you can tell they're done. You see that? The zucchini is a little bit yellow. So that's how we can tell that these are done. So next step, we're going to turn off the oven. We're going to grab the bowl of meat, and we're going to throw these vegetables in here and mix this around. Because this, like I said, this is going to be our filling. This is what's going to go inside of the enchiladas. Alright. So I'm just going to put these all in here, put the skillet back on the stove, and try and mix this up. Now, the recipe says to use 1 pound of beef. I cooked 2, if you remember. So I have a little bit extra meat. So we're probably not going to use all of this, which is okay. But at least these vegetables, since I'm mixing them with this meat, it's going to add a flavor to the meat. So it's basically just going to be this mix of meat and vegetables. So I'll probably use this for my next class, which right after this one, I'll be cooking empanadas, which is also another South American dish, I believe, or Latin American dish, whichever one you want to call it. So yeah. Okay, so we've got this all mixed up. Now the next thing we're going to do, set this on the side, and I believe we're going to grab the tortillas and start to put the filling inside. Okay, now actually before we do that, so I'm gonna bring up the recipe real quick so I can show you guys the next step that I'm doing before I do it. So if we go to the recipe, the next thing I'm going to do, so I've mixed up, just like this picture, I've mixed the vegetables and the beef, and I've got my cheese not in a bowl but on the side. And the next thing we're gonna do, before we get the tortillas ready, is pour this sauce. So see this sauce? This is enchilada sauce. Now you can make it at home, but I didn't think I would have time in the class, so I didn't make it. So I bought it in a can, which it probably won't taste as good as homemade. But this is some green chili enchilada sauce. So let's see. Can you guys see it, or is there a glare?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes.
Okay. So green chili enchilada sauce. So this was about $2. So I'm gonna grab my can opener. So this is in a can. This is a can, just like a soda can. This is a can of enchilada sauce. Now I'm gonna grab my can opener, handy dandy can opener. So this is it right here, as you guys can see. I'm gonna scoot you guys a little bit closer. Okay, so we're gonna open this up with the handy dandy can opener, electric can opener. So what you do is put.
So you bought a complete machine to open a can.
Yeah, a lot of people have these, but I'm trying to figure out how it goes in here. There we wait. Yep. Nope. Dang it. Okay. I have not used this in a while, but it goes. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to figure out how this goes in, because it's different than the last time that I used it. Okay, I think. Wait for it. There we go. Nope. Okay. Darn it. Okay. How do you put this in? It's... Okay, there we go. I had it. Okay. So. There we go. Okay. Whew.
Is the
So there,
first
you can
time
hear it?
are you using this?
No, I've used it before, but it's just tricky to get on. Don't worry, I have. I promise. Okay. So here we go. You can kind of see, I don't want to spill it on my computer, but here's my enchilada sauce. So the first thing we're going to do is take our pan, our glass pan, and we're going to spread around some enchilada sauce. So we'll use about half the can, probably. Yeah, there we go.
It was red on the picture.
No, it's... So the picture is of enchiladas, because that's what you use this for. But it says green chili, so it's green chili enchilada sauce. Yeah. Normally, in the picture that I showed you, it was red, you're right. Because normally it's red. So you're just going to spread it around like this, so you've got a nice base and like a nice coat of enchilada sauce. So we've got that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is the final step of the prepping process, which is making the enchiladas. So this is probably going to be the tricky part, because you have to fold them. So here I've got my 100% whole wheat flour tortillas. Now these are probably the healthiest ones out there, because they're 100% whole wheat. So they're good for you. You can see usually they're like a white color, but these ones are about kind of a brown color. So what we're going to do is put the filling inside. So my pan is kind of big, so I think we'll be able to fit at least 10. The recipe says 12, but we'll see. Now you got to be careful because they're soft and they ripped, which I already ripped this one, but that's okay. We can still use it. Now I'm going to grab a spoon and this filling. So what you're going to do, I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit so you can see. So we've got my tortilla on the plate. We're going to put some down, some of this meat and some of these vegetables down. Now you don't want to put... Yes?
It's very similar to the tacos, right?
Yes, exactly. It's very similar to tacos, but you're using tortillas, and what we're going to do is fold them over, place them in here, and we're going to put some cheese in here too, which I'm going to grab. So here's my cheese. I didn't shred it up myself, I just bought a bag of shredded cheese, which is very normal for Americans, because we're lazy and we don't want to spend the time shredding our cheese, which, just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, so normally what you guys probably do, I don't know, I don't know if you can see this, so there are holes in it, and what you do is just shred your cheese. When I say shred, I mean you take like a block of cheese and rub it on this, and then cheese little and then it looks like this. So shredded cheese, it just means that somebody took a block of cheese and shredded it. Now I bought it already shredded because I'm lazy, because I'm an American, so it's a lot easier. So I'm going to take this cheese, we're just going to sprinkle it over the top, just like that. That way it's pretty cheesy, because I like the cheese. And now we're going to fold this. So this first one you might experiment a little bit with, and I say that because I don't know the exact way to fold them. I'm thinking that you can just do this. So what I'm going to do is, I have all of it in the center, which is what you want to do. Then you're going to take the sides, you're going to push them in like that. Then we're going to take the back, fold it over like that, then fold it like that. So just like that. Then what I'm going to do with this is place it in here. Now you want to place them, you want to kind of place them strategically so that you can get in as many in there as possible. So that's basically the process. We're just going to fold as many as we can, putting this in, and you want to make sure you don't put a lot in, otherwise you won't be able to fold it correctly. And you can always, since I'll have extra meat, I can always add some more afterwards. After they're done cooking, I can put it on the side. But just sprinkling cheese. You can also add spices too. I wasn't going to add any spices because I've never cooked these before, so once I cook them and I know, okay, hey, I need more salt, I need more pepper, or maybe Italian seasoning would be good. So same thing, gonna make sure it's all in the middle. I'm gonna fold it over like that, just like that. So these are kind of big, and my pan is not that big, so it looks like, here, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. How many do you guys think we can get in here? 6? 5?
5.
5? Yeah, okay, we'll see.
They are big.
They are big. Maybe I should have, these are medium-sized tortillas. I could have probably gotten smaller ones. I wasn't sure though, because it doesn't say exactly. So like I said, we're just experimenting, so they're still gonna
Maybe you are folding it too loose. Maybe you should.
Okay, maybe you're right. Let's try that. Let's try folding this one a little bit tighter. Because maybe you're right. Maybe I'm making them too loose. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to try and fold it tighter. So push that to this side, fold it over like that, and then I'm afraid the tortillas will break. Okay, see, it kind of broke a little bit, but you're right. It's smaller. So you're right. We're going to put that on the side. Okay. So I think that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, normally, you're probably going to get just regular tortillas instead of 100% whole wheat, but since they're 100% whole wheat, what that means is, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically they're healthier for you. 100% whole wheat. They use all of the grain. That's what that means. So if you guys didn't know that, it's just a good thing to know. If you're trying to eat healthier, then try and stick with 100% whole wheat as opposed to just regular whole wheat. Because if it's 100%, then it's 100%. There's no doubt that it's not using all of the grain. So we're going to try that again. We're going to try making it less loose, making it a little bit tighter. Okay, there we go. It's kind of smaller, not a lot. So far I've got 4 in here. You think maybe 3 more? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
3 more? Okay.
4.
4? Okay, woo!
We are 10.
10
Yeah.
people.
10 people, okay. Well, if only you guys could come and fly over right now and we could all enjoy these together.
Oh, I feel my mouth has started watering.
Good. Okay, we'll go buy a plane ticket and come over, and I'll give you one. Just kidding. It'd probably be very expensive. Okay. All right. Well, this one. There we go. Okay. So, let's see. Oof. It's getting kind of close, guys. I don't know if I can fit 3. How many people are here? How many do we have? 10?
Yeah.
Okay. See, look, see how this tortilla just broke? That's because it's 100% whole wheat and they're very flimsy. That's the word you would use to describe these. They break easily. So let's see if I can write that. Flimsy. 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 There we go. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to describe something that kind of like a piece of paper, you could say is flimsy because it bends back and forth very easily. That's what flimsy means. It bends back and forth very easily. So these tortillas are flimsy. They break easily. They bend back and forth easily. Okay.
I think it's because of its pre-packed products, like industrial products. When it stays for a long time, it becomes flimsy. Because we have similar kind of bread in Turkey. When you buy it from bakery, from baker, yes, bakery.
Bakery. Yeah.
From bakery, and it's fresh. It doesn't break like this. Doesn't break.
Yeah, you're probably right because this is processed. You know, they made it in a factory or something, and then package them and then ship them out. Yeah, so you're probably right. If I were to go, which it's yeah, I mean I'm trying to think if I could have gotten them from the bakery. I don't think I've ever bought tortillas from the bakery actually. I've bought bread, but never tortillas, which I don't know. I guess it's just not something we do as Americans. Like normally people get this brand Mission, which it might be from Mexico. No, it's from Texas. So most people just buy this brand. I don't know. A lot of people don't buy things from the bakery, which they should. But in your guys' countries, do you guys buy things from the bakery?
Yes, usually.
Usually. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Alright. So, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 7. So that means 3 of us will not be eating, or we'll have to save for empanadas. Which is okay, because my pan's kind of small. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move these. First, I'm going to move the cheese out of the way and the tortilla so you guys can see what I'm doing. But the next thing that I'm going to do is put the rest of this enchilada sauce on top. Now, if you saw in the picture, it was kind of red, but like I said before, this is green enchilada sauce. So you just kind of want to drizzle it on top. This will add flavor. Now, this we can't really stir around and make it even. So you can tell it's obviously not all even, but that's okay. So if I can mix it around a little bit. Okay. So it's pretty evenly mixed, as you guys can see. We've got 7 in here. So now what we're going to do is stick them in the oven. So I'm going to move you guys back over here, and you guys can see me place them in the oven. Alright, open up the oven. So we already preheated it, it's already warm, hot. Slide those in there. Okay. Now, it takes, if we look at the recipe, I think it takes about 35 minutes to cook. Let's see. Okay, bake for 30 minutes. Okay. So, thankfully they have a timer built in on my oven. So, 30 minutes. There we go. So, we've got our leftover meat, as you guys can see, which I'll probably use this for empanadas, if you guys stay for that class. But just to go over really quickly, we said flimsy, which is like the tortillas. They're flimsy, they break easily, they move back and forth easily. You could say a piece of paper is flimsy. Usually what it means is something breaks easily. So, like tortillas. We've got skillet. So this could also be called a frying pan, skillet. So this is what we use to cook the vegetables and cook the meat. I don't know if I said this, but this is a spatula. So this is called a spatula. So I was using this to break up the meat, and also kind of stir around the vegetables. Oh, okay, I think I might have forgotten something. Yes, I did forget something. Okay, that's okay. Now, the thing that I forgot, you guys are probably wondering, okay, what did he forget? Now, it says, it says to cover the pan with foil. Now, I'm going to pull these out, slide these up here on the stove, and cover this with foil. Now, you're probably wondering, what is foil? Here, this is the foil that it's talking about. So, here we go. So this is foil. It's called aluminum foil. So we're going to cover this. Question?
Tin foil is the same thing, or?
Yep, tin foil, aluminum foil, same thing.
Okay.
So it's kind of hot. So there we go. So I'm covering it. You know, there's still air can get in it, if you can see. So it's kind of loose on here, which is okay. But you just don't want all of the heat going to it. So, there we go. Alright. So we're going to have to restart the timer, and we're going to put these back in. So don't forget this when you are cooking your enchiladas. There we go. Okay. Whew. Good thing I saved those. Okay, so we're gonna turn the timer back on. 30 minutes. Start. Now these, you're probably wondering, what are these called? What are these called?
Love.
Gloves?
No. Close. Yeah, I mean, you could call them gloves, but specifically, these are used to keep your hands from getting burned. These are called oven mitts. Just like that. So I've got two of them. Just like this. These are my oven mitts, so I don't burn my hands. You've also got these. This is more common. This is also an oven mitt. Oven mitt. New term. New vocabulary. Okay. So we're going to let those cook. Now, while those cook, we've got, let's see, how much time left? We've got about 10 minutes. So, we're just going to spend the last 10 minutes talking about enchiladas, talking about food, and just talking about cooking in general. Because I like cooking. I'm sure some of you guys like cooking. Who here likes to cook?
I
Me,
like it.
And what do you guys usually cook? Do you cook breakfast? Do you cook lunch? Do you cook dinner? What do you guys cook? What meal of the day do you cook?
Well, I'm learning to prepare some meals, basic meals, like rice, soups, the causa. Do you remember?
Yes,
And-
yes, the causa.
Yeah. And then I like also to prepare desserts, like cookies or cake.
Yeah, I would say not a lot of Americans cook. I learned that in a class that I took at the university on nutrition. And in the class, they told us that Americans don't like to cook because they're always in a rush. I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of food is made so that you can put it in the microwave, which
Yeah.
that white thing right there, this is the microwave, which I'll be honest, in college, I use the microwave a lot because I'm too lazy to go down there, go down in the kitchen and cook. But a lot of Americans cook their food in the microwave, or they'll do something that's quick and easy to make, like a lasagna that's already cooked, and you just have to put it in the oven and heat it up. So a lot of Americans don't cook. But you guys said that you guys cook. Do you guys cook a lot, or just every once in a while?
Sometimes.
A lot.
in Turkey, every day you cook. We don't buy prepared foods. But usually my mother cooks. I sometimes cook like a kind of special traditional food because you do it by kneading, so it requires some power.
Uh-huh.
Because my mother's a little bit more older, and I do some like things for breakfast, little things. So we always cook at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say if in the United States, the thing that most Americans do cook when they do cook, the thing that they're going to cook is probably cookies, or some kind of dessert, because those are easy to cook too. Like usually in the old days, people would actually grab flour and make the cookies by scratch. That's how you would say it. Make them by scratch, because you're grabbing all of the ingredients. But usually people buy cookie dough, which dough is the stuff
Ready
that it's already
cook.
Yeah, exactly, ready to cook. So another thing, like I was saying, people buy food that's ready to cook because they're lazy. So same with cookie dough. You usually just buy the cookie dough because it's easier and it's sold in all of the grocery stores, and nobody really makes cookies by hand anymore because they already have mixes where you just buy the mix, you add eggs, milk, you stir it around, mix it up, and then you put it in a bowl, and then you put it on the pan. And a lot of Americans eat fast food too. Man mentioned McDonald's, which is pretty popular. Do you guys? So terms that you would use for eating, you might say, I cook at home. so cook at home, or you would say eat out. Eat out means you go and buy food at a restaurant, a fast food place, and I think that's it. Yeah, eating out. So you might hear this phrase, eating out. So for example, you might say, "Oh yeah, I eat out a lot," meaning you go to a restaurant or you go buy your food at McDonald's or a fast food place, wherever. Do you guys eat? How many times do you guys eat out each week? So
Probably once a week.
once a week, okay. Anybody else?
With family or alone? If you say
Either, it doesn't matter. You could say I go out with my family. I go out to eat with my family. We go out twice a week for dinner. We go out 3 times a week for lunch.
with family, it's not too rare, maybe once a month, but by ourselves alone, because you have something to do outside, you eat outside. It's common. It's often.
Often, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Does anybody eat out more than that, like 4 times a week?
Not so often. Maybe 4 times a month when we have.
4 times a month?
Yeah, when we have maybe the party, the birthday of someone, we go out. But we mostly eat at home.
Okay, alright. That's good.
I have to eat out almost every day because I can't cook and I live alone, so I have to eat out almost every day.
Almost every. And is that because of your job? Like for lunch, do you eat out?
Because my job, because I live alone, and when I eat at home, it's using microwaves. Not the cook, but the microwave.
Okay. But do you have an oven and a stove?
No.
No?
I don't have a stove.
Wow. Okay.
Because
so
I can't cook, so I don't contract the gas payment.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the stove as well.
So you don't. Okay.
Only microwaves. Microwaves saved my life, but
only microwaves. Wow. Something kind of cool. Or yeah, Hazim, were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Something kind of cool that I want to show you guys. So like I said, I study at the university, and I live at the university in what's called a dorm. And like I said, a lot of college students are lazy, or just don't have a lot of money, so they cook a lot of food in the microwave. Now, one thing that I've started using, which I used to go downstairs and cook because there's a kitchen, there's a stove, there are places to cook for me. But one thing that I started that I've started to use, is this. It's called the microwave. Let's see if it loads. It should. It's called the microwave boat, or a microwave pasta boat. All right, that's not loading. Here it is. So I don't know if there we go. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is called a microwave pasta boat. So if any of you guys have cooked pasta, you know what it's like, but it's the exact same thing, but you cook it in the microwave. So you pour your pasta in here, then you put water in it, and you cook it for 17 minutes in the microwave. And then you pour it out, just like you can see in this picture, and that's it. You have your pasta, and you don't even have to leave your room. Very convenient. So that's pretty cool. Okay, well, this brings us. It's called a microwave pasta boat, because it kind of looks like a boat. It holds your pasta in water. Okay, well, that has brought us to the end of the class. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys learned a new word or a new expression, or you just enjoyed learning how to make enchiladas, because I've had them all the time. I've eaten them for my entire life, but I've never known how they're cooked. So now I know, now you guys know. Thank you guys for coming, and if you'd like me to cook anything else in the future, you can contact me through my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/joeverbling. And also, if you want to know about my future classes, you're probably wondering, okay, when where your next classes be. If you go to the Verbling page and then go to Recorded Classes, and go to Joe, and click on View Profile, right here it says Next Class with Joe is in 3 hours. And that's because it's assuming that my class that starts right now, which is after this one, the Empanadas class, has already started. So the next class, there's going to be one in 3 hours today. So it'll say the time right here. You can click follow, and then you'll get notifications about my classes. And then my Facebook page, which I just gave you guys, which is facebook.com/Joe. Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys enjoy this class.
Thank you, teacher.
See you guys later.
Thank you. Thank you. See you.
See ya.